are we doing enough, or how can we improve the situation that we are working on towards climate change? Because we've seen that we've seen the outcomes and the discussion of COP26, and we've seen the outcomes of Paris Agreement. So what is the next step to try to reach the goals that we said that we would commit to achieve?
I will not dwell for too long on what we are doing in the process of COP, but maybe a concrete example from another angle, namely the human rights angle. You might remember that last year the EU was first, let's say, and of course supported by many other countries in the Human Rights Council and partners, to make a plea for the recognition of the human right to a safe and healthy environment. So this is, in this whole context, a very important piece. This is something which we will continue to work on. So we are planning an event now also in the course of March during the Human Rights Council on exactly this topic. It shows that, and we had lots of support from many other partners. It shows that how important that is to pin it down, really to let's say to elevate it at the next level. Because if we have recognized it as a human right, then of course we can be even more fiercely supporting this. So this is a concrete example what we did in the course of another entity, let's say, let aside the COP process, which is, of course, also very, very dear to us.
The West has read the Indian commitments at COP26 as being not enough. But most people in India was actually very surprised that India even made a net zero commitment at COP26. Yeah. And so this, I think, is an example of the challenges that we are seeing. Climate change probably should be that one topic that everybody is able to agree on. But to be fair, I think that to India and to the rest of the developing world, I think that the developed world or the West has got to kind of carry a larger burden on this front, and they simply haven't quite made the efforts as yet that are required. For instance, the promise of $100 billion, towards climate finance never really materialized.
That is very true.
And so, in some sense, I think that in the developing world, and India in particular, has far more to lose, I think, from climate change than most other countries, including in the West, because of the fact that India is a tropical country, heavily dependent on agriculture and the monsoons. And a lot of these climate patterns are already getting very erratic, leading to various droughts and floods across the country, and plenty of farmer suicides. So I think that in some sense it's justified on India's part on this particular issue, I think, to expect the developed world to do a bit more than it has been doing so far.
How multilateralism can be intersectional to reach gender equality?
Definitely, we've had good examples on advancing gender equality in multilateral processes. Just last year, we had the Generation Equality in Paris, and we've seen a lot of countries making pledges and arriving at a certain understanding on the rights of women. But what remains behind largely, of course, we see the understanding and acceptance of sexual minorities and gender minorities remains way behind. And we've seen the fight in the Human Rights Council, often countries rejecting resolutions regarding that. We've also seen progress in terms of women from Afro-descendant communities, with the Human Rights Council leading a lot on the decade of Afro-descendant people. So it's very important to see the intersectionality, not just gender as it is, but there are really good mechanisms we are seeing. And I think that we can do good if that is backed by real power and real investments to advance gender equality.